Do you ever feel like your brain is just one continuous buzzing construction site? Notifications dinging, messages piling up, this relentless demand on your attention that just leaves you feeling fragmented, right? Overwhelmed, totally drained. Finding a quiet moment, it feels almost impossible sometimes. So our mission today really is to explore how we can move beyond that mental construction site, how we can reclaim our focus, find some inner peace. We're going to dive into some really compelling ideas, stuff like vibrational healing, this specific frequency, 432 hertz. And then there's the work of Dr. Masaru Emoto. Influential, yeah, but also, well, pretty controversial. And finally, we'll look at a practical tool, something digital, for finding quietude from the Kun-Cute channel. Especially useful if you're just starting out and feeling swamped by all the, digital noise.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating here, what we want to unpack for you, is how these subtle energies, these intentions, might genuinely influence your well-being, and maybe more importantly, how you can actually do something with them, how you can proactively engage to create a more harmonious inner world, especially when everything outside feels like it's demanding your attention.
Let's really lean into that metaphor then. Modern life as a bustling construction site. It's more than just the obvious noise, isn't it? It feels like it leaves behind these invisible energetic residues, like stress, tension, a kind of stagnant vibration that just settles in us. And this isn't just about your room being messy. It's inside you, your mental space, your emotional landscape.
Absolutely. This buildup, this, let's call it energetic static, it can definitely lead to feeling stuck, stagnant, uneasy. Think of it like a low hum of anxiety under the surface. It hits your focus, your mood, even, your productivity. And sound, in this context, well, it can be a remarkably potent tool. Because of its vibrational nature, it can introduce new patterns, encourage recalibration, help dissipate that stagnant energy, let something fresh flow in.
Okay, so it's about realizing that true well-being isn't just like eating right and thinking positive thoughts. It's also this energetic purification, consciously clearing out the unseen stuff.
It really is. At its heart, sound healing works on this principle. Everything is energy. Everything vibrates, us included. Our bodies are these incredibly intricate vibrational systems. Every cell, every organ, they all have their own sort of optimal frequency. Now, when these natural, harmonious vibrations get disrupted, maybe by chronic stress, illness, emotional stuff, or just the sheer noise of modern life, it can create what people call energetic blockages, disharmony. And these blockages, they can show up as feeling stuck, unmotivated, or even physical discomfort, both body and mind. So vibrational sound therapy, what it does is introduce specific harmonious frequencies. These sounds interact with your body's energy field, gently influence it. It's not like smashing glass with a high note, but more like imagine introducing a really smooth, coherent vibration. It encourages your own systems to kind of realign, release those dense spots, and find balance again.
And you can feel this stuff quite directly, can't you? Like using singing bowls on the body. You feel those vibrations go deep. It's incredibly relaxing, almost like a gentle massage, but like for your nervous system.
Yeah, and neurologically, these soothing sounds can calm your autonomic nervous system. That helps dial down the fight or flight response, the stress. They can also entrain your brain waves. Gently guide your mind into those deeply relaxed states like alpha and theta. That's great for mental clarity, focus, and definitely for better sleep. Plus, there's some evidence it might trigger feel-good neurotransmitters. Endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, things that boost your mood.
Okay, building on that sound, impacting our vibrational state, let's focus on one specific frequency everyone's talking about, 432 hertz.
Yeah.
So most music today uses 440 hertz as the standard tuning pitch, right? But 432 hertz is slightly lower. People often call it the natural tuning.
Right. And the proponents, the people who are really into 432 hertz, they believe it resonates more deeply, more harmoniously. With the human body, they say, with the Earth's own frequency, the Schumann resonance, kind of like the planet's heartbeat, and maybe even with ancient sacred geometry, celestial movements, it's this idea of connecting to something fundamental.
And what's really interesting is just how different people say it sounds or feels. Many listeners report 432 hertz as feeling warmer, softer, somehow more relaxing, more emotionally resonant than 440 hertz, which can sound a bit brighter, maybe sharper.
Yeah, and the reported benefits cover a lot of ground. Mentally, emotionally, people talk about less cortisol, less tension, fewer anxious thoughts, better clarity, less overwhelm. Physically, better sleep seems to be a big one, easier to fall asleep, deeper rest, which could be huge if you deal with chronic pain. It also seems to promote general relaxation. soothing the nervous system, easing muscle tension, less discomfort. People often say they feel more energized afterwards. And there are a few interesting physiological studies, small ones, mind you. One from 2019 showed apparently a notable decrease in heart rate, almost 5 beats per minute lower with 432 hertz compared to 440. Slight decreases in blood pressure, respiratory rate too. And the participants said they felt more focused, more satisfied. Another small study, same year, pointed towards greater calm, better sleep quality. And for people using it in meditation or spiritual practice, the idea is it helps you go deeper. More introspection, awareness, inner stillness, helps align those subtle energy centers, the chakras, grounding your energy. Okay, now, we absolutely have to put this in context. Scientifically speaking, claims about 432 hertz being inherently superior for healing are often viewed with skepticism. Mainstream science tends to point towards the placebo effect. And look, music tuned to 440 hertz has definitely been used effectively in therapy and healing too. Our job here is just to report what's being said, what's being studied, not really to pick a side.
That is a fascinating point you raised, though. That study mentioning no scientific support, then immediately finding a decrease in heart rate feels a bit contradictory. How do you make sense of that tension? What does it tell us?
I think it tells us it's probably complex, not just one thing. The healing effect is likely a mix. Part physiological response, part psychological perception. And yeah, placebo can definitely be part of that. And maybe there's a subjective energetic alignment piece that science just doesn't have the tools for yet. What seems pretty clear is that your own belief, your intention when you listen, that seems to play a really significant role in the outcome, even if we can't measure all the whys just yet.
Okay, so we've talked about sound waves. But what if our thoughts, our intentions, could actually influence something like water? This brings us to Dr. Masaru Emoto, Japanese author described as a doctor of alternative medicine, famous for his work looking at how water reacts to human consciousness.
Emoto's core idea, his main claim, was that water molecules are deeply affected by human thoughts, words, feelings, even music. His method involved exposing water to different things, positive words, negative words, music, then flash freezing it, and photographing the ice crystals that formed.
And the pictures he shared were pretty dramatic, weren't they? He claimed water exposed to positive stuff like love or peace formed these beautiful, complex, symmetrical crystals, really intricate. While water exposed to negative words like hate or anger, well, those apparently resulted in messy, distorted, broken-looking patterns. It certainly made it look like our intentions had a direct, visible impact.
Right. But, and this is a big but, we have to be clear, mainstream science largely considers Emoto's research unsubstantiated. Highly controversial. Key issues are his findings haven't been reliably replicated by other scientists. How do you objectively measure beautiful or ugly? That's subjective, prone to bias. And there were concerns about the lack of rigorous scientific controls in his experiments. His work often gets tied up with the concept of water memory, which is also, not widely accepted scientifically. And actually, there's a direct contradiction that relates to our earlier topic. You often hear this claim, sometimes linked to Emoto's ideas, that 432 hertz makes beautiful water crystals and 440 hertz makes ugly ones. But there was a scientific pilot study that looked specifically at this, and it found that both 432 hertz and 440 hertz seemed to increase stability in the water structure, reduce variations. So that simple good versus bad story, at least according to that study, it doesn't really hold up.
Okay, so with Emoto, if the science is shaky, what's the real takeaway for us? Why talk about him? Well, despite the lack of scientific proof for the crystals themselves, his work undeniably got people talking.
Yeah.
Massively. It sparked conversations about intention, about interconnectedness, about how our consciousness might subtly influence the world around us. It really made people think differently.
Exactly. And regardless of whether water molecules actually form different crystals based on words, Emoto's core message about cultivating gratitude, kindness, compassion, that resonates deeply with mindful living, with holistic well-being. That positive message, it has value in itself, encouraging good practices, regardless of the crystal photos.
And given that our bodies are, 60% water, Emoto's work, even if you take it as just a metaphor, it really makes you pause and wonder, doesn't it? How might our thoughts, our emotions, the sounds we surround ourselves with, how might they subtly influence our own internal state, our own inner water? Especially when you're trying to find focus again amidst all those constant pings and demands. Right, let's bring this into the practical realm then. Let's talk about a specific resource for finding that quietude you mentioned in this noisy world, the Cube YouTube channel. That's at Fashion on YouTube. They describe themselves as a digital sanctuary of sound crafted for quietude and healing.
Yeah, their whole mission seems to be offering a gentle escape. a retreat from the constant noise and demands. They actually talk about aiming for a dopamine detox, guiding listeners toward inner peace, clarity, deep rest. It sounds like an antidote to that feeling of being constantly pulled in different directions by notifications.
And quietude. For them, it isn't just the name of a playlist, is it? It's more like the whole concept, the purpose behind their soundscapes. They're carefully put together, designed for meditation or focused work or just relaxing, helping you find calm when you feel overwhelmed.
Exactly. These soundscapes, they're designed as these harmonious compositions intended to gently transport you, help you find that quiet space inside. They really are like an auditory journey guiding you back to your center. The melodies are crafted to kind of wash over you, dissolve the mental chatter, that emotional weight that builds up, facilitating relaxation, tension release, supporting healing.
And what's really powerful here, I think, is the accessibility. Channels like Concute, they make this stuff available to everyone. These repatterning tools, this energetic cleansing. It's global now. Your phone, your laptop, because it's a portable sanctuary. You don't need fancy equipment or expensive sessions to start taking back your focus.
And this ties right back to 432 hertz. Many of these quietude soundscapes, they explicitly state they're crafted using specific frequencies, often including 432 hertz. Which, as we said, proponents believe is this frequency of universal harmony.
So the intention, the goal, is to help align your energy with that natural pulse of the cosmos, as they might put it. The sounds act like resonant keys, potentially unlocking inner freedom, calm. The idea is they create a personal sound bath, cleansing your aura, soothing your nervous system, maybe supporting chakra alignment, clearing stagnant emotional energy.
Which brings us right back to the start. This carefully designed audio gives you tangible tools for energetic purification, for repatterning. It's like that construction site cleanse we talked about, but for your inner landscape, helping you clear the residue of modern life's demands.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit more. How can you, the listener, actually integrate these ideas? Vibrational healing, conscious intention, into your day-to-day?
Well, for personal vibrational cleansing, you could try consistently listening to 432 hertz sound sites, maybe during meditation or yoga or when you need to focus on work or study, even just as calming background music while you're doing chores. Consistent exposure might help align your body and mind, reduce stress, improve focus, boost vitality, help you reclaim that control from the constant mental buzz.
Okay, and then what about for your actual space? An environmental energetic cleanse? That construction site cleanse for your home or office, how'd you do that?
It's a deliberate process. First step, preparation. Open the windows, let fresh air in, get rid of stagnant energy. Tidy up physical clutter, too, that helps. Second, intention. Before you start, really set a clear intention, maybe for peace, clarity, renewal, or releasing specific heavy energy. Third, activation. Use your tools. Energy chimes, singing bowls if you have them, or just play 432 hertz soundscapes from Concute or similar sources through speakers. Fourth, application. Move slowly around the room. Let the sound really fill the space. Visualize it breaking up negativity, inviting in positive energy. Spend extra time in corners or places where arguments happen or the vibe just feels off. And finally, gratitude. Stand in the center for a moment, let the sound resonate one last time, and just express thanks for the cleansing.
This brings up a really important point, though. What makes these practices truly effective? Is it just hitting play?
Probably not just that. It seems the efficacy of sound healing, whether personal or environmental, is significantly amplified by your conscious intention, your mindful engagement.
So it's about active participation, not just passive listening. Consciously directing those vibrations where you feel they're needed, which, interestingly, aligns deeply with Dr. Emoto's broader message, right, about the power of intention. Even if we just see the water crystals as a metaphor, that core idea holds. Your focus matters.
Yes, exactly. Focused awareness seems to act like a director or an amplifier for the healing energy of sound. Your consciousness becomes part of the process. When you actively tune your mental radio into that healing frequency, really intend for it to work, the results seem to be multiplied.
And that's really empowering, isn't it? It shifts sound healing from something that just happens to you to something you actively co-create. Your belief, your focus, they become just as crucial as the sound itself. It gives you back a sense of agency over that relentless stream of information and demands vying for your attention. So wrapping this all up, what's the big picture here? We've journeyed through the subtle, maybe profound power of sound and intention. From clearing those energetic residues left by modern life's construction site, to the specific potential of 432 hertz for repatterning, and even considering conceptual ideas like Dr. Emoto's, however controversial.
Yeah, this deep dive, I think it shows how engaging with harmonious soundscapes like the ones from Kunkute and really cultivating mindful intention. It empowers you. It allows you to actively participate in your own energetic cleanup, your own inner growth. It's about actively taking back control from that constant digital bombardment that fragments our focus.
It really is about recognizing that we are vibrational beings, fundamentally.
Yeah.
And we can proactively use sound, use intention to cleanse, harmonize, evolve, to turn that noisy mental construction site back into a place of peace, a sanctuary for focus.
And the ultimate takeaway, perhaps, is shifting our approach, moving from just reacting to overwhelm after it hits,
Okay.
to proactive, self-directed, energetic maintenance, becoming your own sound therapist in daily life, building resilience, sustained inner harmony, creating that sanctuary of well-being from the inside out, no matter how chaotic the world outside gets.
So here's a final thought for you to ponder. If your intentions, your focus, might subtly shift even the water around and within you, what other shifts are possible when you truly tune in? How could you use this understanding starting today to create just a little more quietude in your own experience and reclaim some of that precious focus from the endless stream of distractions?